Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Peiking podcast, where we talk about important Asian American history and how our culture and heritage has come to be in America.
Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves. Abraham Lincoln. This quote resonates deeply with the struggles and triumphs of the Asian American community. Today, I will cover three main themes we'll be covering in this video: their contributions to civil rights, the overcoming of obstacles, and preservation of their culture. The Asian American community has been instrumental in advancing civil rights in the United States. A pivotal moment in this journey was the enactment of the Madison Act of 1943, which repealed the previously discriminatory Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. On December 17, 1943, the Chinese were finally allowed to legally enter the United States as Congress passed the Magnuson Act, a legislation with the objective of repealing the previously passed discriminatory exclusion laws against Chinese immigrants. The Magnuson Act of 1943 also established an immigration quota for China of 105 visas per year, granting them the right to naturalization. The law was passed with little opposition due to the Immigration Act of 1824, which prevented aliens, including the Chinese, ineligible for U.S. citizenship, from entering the U.S. However, previous xenophobic arguments that had previously led to the Chinese exclusion in the first place would result in a quota being based on ethnicity, counting anyone with Chinese heritage against the quota. By allowing limited Chinese immigration, the U.S. aimed to combat Japanese propaganda and repair diplomatic relations with the Chinese. The Madison Act marked a shift in immigration policy, laying the groundwork for future reforms and demonstrating the progress toward racial equality. This event highlights the contributions of Asian Americans to civil rights and their role in dismantling these exclusionary laws. Let's take a look at this letter written by FDR. The letter to Congress pushes for passage of the bill. In his letter, he stated, "The passing of this bill is vital to fixing our mistake of Chinese exclusion, highlighting the government's acknowledgement of past injustices and their willingness to push for equal rights."
Another presidential event was the murder of Vincent Chin, which triggered the Asian American community, leading to formation of the American Citizens for Justice, or the ACJ. In the early 1910s, the automobile industry was booming in the United States. Many major car companies had their factories in Detroit, and its population more than doubled in the span of a decade. However, in the 1920s, many companies started moving factories off of U.S. soil in search of cheaper labor in Japan. Fast forward to the 1980s. Japan had risen to the top of the automobile industry with their smaller and more fuel-efficient cars. Although it was the American automobile companies that decided to move factories to Japanese soil, auto workers still blamed Asian Americans for the decline in automobile jobs. Similarly, in the case of Vincent Chin, his murderers also accused him for the lack of jobs. On 1982, June 19th, Vincent Chin had been celebrating his bachelor party in a strip club when previously laid off Ronald Evans and his stepson, Michael Nitz, came in and said, "It's because of you little motherfuckers that we're out of work." Vincent replied by punching Evans, and the ensuing fight ended when Nitz held Vincent down while Evans beat him with a bat. Evans and Nitz were charged with second-degree murder, but a plea bargain brought the charge to a manslaughter. In the end, they were sentenced to 3 years of probation and a $3,000 fine. Not even a single night was spent on the inside of a jail cell. The Asian American community was outraged, and rightfully so, forming the American Citizens of Justice and petitioning the U.S. Department of Justice to investigate the case as a violation of Vincent Chin's civil rights. Finally, in 1984, the U.S. District Court sentenced Evans to 25 years in prison, but he was released just after 2 years due to improper prosecution witness coaching. This goes to show the persistence of the Asian American community, banding together to overcome an unfair legal system, even go so far as to petition the Department of Justice to investigate the case. Vincent Chin's case highlights the community's persistence in the fight for justice and equality, emphasizing the power in numbers and unity when advocating for civil rights.
I want to talk about another white figure that was born in China.
Yang Wing was born in 1828 in Guangdong Province, China. In 1854, he became the first Chinese student to graduate from a North American university, earning his degree from Yale. It was made possible thanks to Samuel Robbins Brown, a Yale-educated missionary who recognized Yang Wing's potential during his travels in China and brought him to the U.S. and prepared him with education at Monson Academy. Yang Wing's vision extended beyond his personal achievements. During his time at Yale, he organized the Chinese Educational Mission in 1872, sending over 120 students to schools in the U.S. over the span of a decade. His initiative aimed to share the educational experiences of Yale with other Chinese students, fostering cross-cultural understanding and academic excellence. Among the alumni were notable figures such as Zhang Tianyou, known as the father of China's railroads, and Tang Guoan, the president of Tsinghua College. Yang Wing worked tirelessly to improve relations between China and the United States. In recognition of his efforts, Yale awarded him an honorary doctorate of laws in 1876. His biggest achievement was that he convinced the Qing dynasty government that the Western education in science and military techniques could help advance China. However, the mission faced challenges, including racial discrimination from American sponsors who refused to help the Chinese students, and a lack of support from Chinese overseers when seeing that there was no success. Yang Wing's legacy extends beyond his lifetime. In 1978, he donated over 1,200 books from his collection to Yale's East Asian Library, forming the core of its collection. His efforts in organizing the Chinese educational mission and advocating for educational reform in China have left lasting impact on how Chinese and American societies have thought about each other. In conclusion, Yang Wing's journey is a powerful narrative of overcoming barriers and fostering international understanding. His achievements in education and diplomacy show the significant contributions of Asian Americans to civil rights and to preservation of Asian culture. As we reflect on this story, let us celebrate Asian culture and the legacy that Yang Wing has left behind. Next, we'll be talking about a man who embodied the idea of the American dream. Wing Fung Ong's life is a testament to what hard work can achieve. Born in 1904 in Canton, China, Ong moved to the U.S. at the age of 14, where he began elementary school in Phoenix at 15, where it took him 4 years to finish because of the language barrier. During this time, he worked as a helper for Governor and Miss Thomas Campbell, where he learned how to speak English and important skills that will later help him when he opens a grocery store and a restaurant business. After becoming successful, in 1940, when he was 36, he decided to further his education and went to the University of Arizona College of Law, graduating in 1943 and becoming one of 8 Chinese-American lawyers in the United States. He would later go on to become the first Chinese-American elected to a state legislature in 1946. Ong's life story is a powerful example of how economic and political obstacles can be overcome by hard work. His journey illustrates the determination and perseverance of Asian Americans in achieving political representation and overcoming systemic barriers.